People's Democratic Party, PDP governors took time out on Wednesday in Abia State to give a picture of what the country has become under the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari. President Muhammadu Buhari took over power in 2015 from Goodluck Ebele Jonathan with a promise to do more or far better than former. The PDP Governors Forum during the meeting issued a communiqué to report the current bad and worsening situation things have become in Nigeria. The communiqué reads thus. Communiqué issued by the PDP Governors Forum at the end of their meeting at Abia State of Nigeria. The PDP Governors Forum, comprising all elected governors of the People's Democratic Party, held its regular meeting on Wednesday, 23 March, 2022, at Abia State. The meeting reviewed the excruciating hardship and suffering being meted out to Nigerians by a failed APC-led federal government, the near collapse of the APC as a viable political party, the readiness of the PDP to take over and offer qualitative leadership options to rescue the nation, and issued the following communiqué. 1. We lament the terrible pain and hardship facing Nigerians in virtually all aspects of life. The meeting noted that life was much better in 2015 under the PDP than today under the APC, as exemplified in the following comparative indicators obtained mainly from the National Bureau of Statistics. A. Diesel, which is critical for running of SMEs, was N131.47 in 2015, it now costs above it N700. B. Fuel, official and black market, was N87/155 in 2015, it now costs N167/350. C. Aviation fuel/air ticket rate on domestic flights was N110 per liter/N18,000 in 2015, it now hovers around N700 per liter/N70,000 where available. Indeed, the scarcity of fuel, which has resulted in loss of several man-hours, is a disgrace to Nigeria. D. The collapse of the national grid, 126 times in 7 years, June 2015 to March 2022, and its consequences for non-availability of power is most unfortunate. E. Kerosene, NHK, used by the ordinary Nigerian for cooking and power was N180 in 2015, it now sells at 450. F. Liquefied petroleum gas, LPG, 12.5 kg cylinder sold for N2,400 in 2015, is now sold at between N8,750 and N10,000. G. Prices of basic foodstuffs are now 3 times higher than what they used to be in 2015. Staple foods such as rice, beans, cassava flakes are now slipping out of the hands of average Nigerians. Indeed, a bag of rice sold for N8,500 in 2015 is now N39,000. H. Electricity was N14.23 per kilowatt in 2015, it is now N38.530, and not even available. I. Unemployment rate was 11.4% in 2015, it is now over 33%, one the highest in the world. J. The poverty rate in 2015 was 11.3% but now about 42.8%. K. Accumulated inflation in 2015 was about 4%, it is now 15.50%, inflation rate was 9.01% in 2015 and now 15.7%. L. Perhaps the exchange rate has been one of the most disastrous. N150 to $1 was the parallel market, patronized by most businessmen and Nigerians, rate in 2015, it is now about N580 to $1 in the parallel market and still rising. M. Debt and debt servicing. Domestic debt of N8.4T and external debt of $7.3 billion was incurred between 1999 to 2015. While domestic debt of N7.63T, June 2015 DEC 2020, and $28.57 billion as at DEC 2020 was incurred. External debt of $21.27 billion was incurred between June 2015 and 2021. N. National debt to GDP ratio was 23.41%, 2016, it is now 36.88%, 2022. O. The corruption index has risen from 136 in 2015 to 150 now. P. Nigeria's misery index, an indicator used in determining how economically well off the citizens of a country are, is usually calculated by adding the seasonally adjusted unemployment rate to the annual inflation rate, has moved from 14.75% in 2015 to 50.48, 2021. Q. The major threat to the agricultural sector and food security in Nigeria is insecurity. In the northeast of Nigeria, it is estimated that no fewer than 70,000 hectares of arable farmland have been abandoned in the affected states and local government areas. The trend is the same all over the country. This further contributes to food inflation. The APC-led federal government must take steps to cooperate with states to bring security down to the grassroots. The forum is surprised that in the face of these statistics of complete failure in all ramifications and areas, the APC still wants to be on the ballot in 2023. The forum is surprised that in the face of these statistics of complete failure in all ramifications and areas, the APC still wants to be on the ballot in 2023. This shows how uncaring and insensitive the APC is. IT has become a menace to Nigeria. The forum urges Nigerians to reject the APC, a party run undemocratically by a committee contrary to the Constitution, S.228, with Mr. President regularly issuing instructions and dictates. It is impossible for a party so disorganized to offer good governance to the people of Nigeria. The forum urges Nigerians to reject the APC, a party run undemocratically by a committee contrary to the Constitution, S.228, with Mr. President regularly issuing instructions and dictates. It is impossible for a party so disorganized to offer good governance to the people of Nigeria. The meeting expressed concern and alarm over various reports and claims of incidents of stealing of crude oil ranging from 80% to 95% of production made by industry practitioners and called on the federal government to set up an appropriate mechanism to reverse this trend and bring perpetrators to account. The PDP governors once again decried the inability of the NNPC to make its statutory contributions to the Federation account, in spite of oil selling at above $110. It is patently unconstitutional for NNPC to determine at its whim and discretion when and what to pay to the Federation account, as it is a mere trustee of the funds for the three tiers of government: federal, states, and local governments. We once again call for investigations and audit of the quantity of consumption of fuel ascribed to Nigerians and for deployment of technology at the filling stations to determine in a transparent manner the volume of consumption. The governors would resist any further attempt by NNPC to ascribe unsubstantiated subsidy claims to other tiers of government. Furthermore, S.162, 1 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended stipulates that the Federation shall maintain a special account to be called the Federation account into which shall be paid all revenues collected by the government of the Federation. And S.162, 10, states that for the purpose of subsection 1 of this section, revenue means any income or return accruing to or derived by the government of the Federation from any source and includes A. Any receipt, however described, arising from the operation of any law. B. Any return, however described, arising from or in respect of any property held by the government of the Federation. C. Any return by way of interest on loans and dividends in respect of shares or interest held by the government of the Federation in any company or statutory body. Furthermore, S.162, 1, of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended stipulates that the Federation shall maintain a special account to be called the Federation account into which shall be paid all revenues collected by the government of the Federation. And S.162, 10 states that for the purpose of subsection 1 of this section, revenue means any income or return accruing to or derived by the government of the Federation from any source and includes A. Any receipt, however described, arising from the operation of any law. B. Any return, however described, arising from or in respect of any property held by the government of the Federation. C. Any return by way of interest on loans and dividends in respect of shares or interest held by the government of the Federation in any company or statutory body. A. As of today, 1818, Federation revenue agencies are not paying/remitting any revenue to the FIC account. These include I. Central Bank of Nigeria, 2. Nigeria Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA 3, Nigeria Liquefied National Gas, NLNG 4, Nigeria Communication Commission, NCC, v. Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, by NPA, 7, Security and Exchange Commission etc. B. FERS and DPR takes cost of collection of 4%, of revenue collected while customs collects